What up, YouTube? Welcome back. So in this video, I just want to talk about this situation that very recently happened between um, former 3LW members Kiely Williams and Naturi Naughton. And Naturi Naughton, she was recently seen on social media supporting Felicia Rashad and defending her and whatnot. And Kiely, she ain't like it, and she was like, somebody give me a two-piece with a biscuit and some gravy on the side because I'm about to go upside Naturi head again, right? And then folks was like, "Oh, you finally admitted it. I see, I told you." And then Naturi came through and said pretty much the same thing too, finally admitted to it. And I say that this would be an example of like the lighter skinned woman, girl, person, uh, bullying the darker skinned woman, right? And this is I think that this is a popular example that we kind of tend to overlook when we're having conversations about colorism. But again, like this situation has been going on more or less for years, as far as Naturi and Kiely having like an unpleasant back and forth with each other for some reason. I feel like Kiely kind of like starts it or either instigates it and plays into it a lot. And the sad thing is, I think that this may end up hurting Kiely, because I feel like some people, because she's right now she's on a reality show, so she could be doing this for some clout too. But I feel like there were some people kind of like warming up to her though, and trying to give her a chance. Again. Um, but for those of you who don't know, she's currently on a reality show. I forget the Encore, I think it's called, where it's just like some women from past girl groups coming together, trying to either record a single or an album, do some recording, and do something together, right? In a house for like 30 days. And Kiely is the creative director, and some folks got problems with that. I haven't actually seen an episode, but I did see a live stream that Kiely Williams did about the first episode that she was in. And I was like, all right, I was low key, giving Kiely a chance. She seems like, based on the podcast, a decent, halfway decent person. Things happen when we're kids. We don't always do the right things. People deserve second chances. We all have fallen short of the glory. Right? So, yeah, but again, this situation I don't think is going to do her any favors in the long run. Yeah, you may get a couple of ha and he's on this, but you also get like a lot of backlash too, because there are people who feel like Kiely Williams is what some people would consider to be a colorist, someone who has issues with other people because of the color of their skin. Naturi and Kiely both identify as black, but of course there's a difference in skin tone, and people feel like back in the 3LW days, that was the issue too. As far as them having a falling out and Naturi leaving the group, and when she left the group ended up tanking. And thankfully they were able to transition over to being Cheetah Girls for a good minute. But 3LW, once Naturi left, was never the same, and it ended up flopping. And they tried to replace her with like another dark skinned girl, pretty dark skinned girl, but for some reason that didn't take off. And from what the girl had to say, from what I heard, I don't think they ever really used her all that much. And I think at one point they were even having her lip sync to Naturi Naughton's vocals. Um, once they went off to do the Cheetah Girls, I think 3LW ended up going by the wayside, and thus she ended up going by the wayside too. But yeah, for some reason though, I guess Kiely got triggered when she saw Naturi supporting Felicia Rashad, and she was like, "Play it, please," and just wanted to come through again. And it's kind of like just reminding us again. But, if it's you, then I can't tell you not to be you and not to be authentic to you. But, I just find it to be a bit weird. Well, not weird, but I just don't think this situation is going to be good for her. Also, a bit off topic here, but back in the 3LW days, because I remember when they first came on the scene, um, and I also heard some background information about them wanting to push Adrienne Bylon. I think her last name is like Bylon Huffington now. But Adrienne, they wanted to push her because I think JLo was popular. And I just find that to be weird that even within like what is considered to be a black girl group, like the black girls are still being kind of like put to the side for like the exotic Latina, right? When really 3LW, like their main core audience was probably black women, right? But still, for some reason, the exoticals was able to come through here and get pushed. You know. But yeah, it just shows that, still like the black girls are like even in their own spaces, right? Even in their own spaces because they invited these non-black women into their spaces, right? They allow these non-black women to get in their spaces. So even in their own spaces, they're being marginalized, especially the darker skinned black women, but even to an extent, the lighter skinned black women, right? Right. So that is an important lesson too, where, some of these black women out here need to stop being so dang on welcoming and hospitable to like these non-black women and exotical women when they're not being welcoming and hospitable to you and letting you come into their spaces and marginalize them. Nuh-uh. That's not happening. And this situation, it was done primarily by management, right? So also reflective of other people, playing a part in this. Because a lot of people say like, oh, black women did it. Black women did that. They did it to themselves. And they play a part in it, but there's also other people in it too who also help to push it along. So let's not pretend like it's, just all the black women out here doing it. Because when they push back on it, folks ain't supporting like that. All of a sudden, everyone want to come through and be all like, oh no, we all black. We all black. Blackness comes in so many different shades and colors and varieties. And, Latinas can be black too. Adrienne did a DNA test and it turned out she was like 3% black. So she a black queen too. You gotta let her come through. Adrienne, my sister, right? And also, there's some people who say that, Kiely Williams is just jealous and envious of Naturi Naughton and being a hater, right? When she is being, aggressive bully spice, right? But I feel like if the situation was flipped around and Naturi was being, a bully spice towards Kiely, I feel like that narrative would be a lot stronger, right? Like, oh, you just jealous, you a hater, you just mad because she look better than you, right? I feel like that narrative would be a lot stronger than when it's Kiely coming for Naturi. But, that's just a part of, what colorism is about. And, I don't know if Kiely is a full-blown wild colorist on the loose, or either she just personally has the issue with Naturi. Like if it's just, okay, it's strictly about Naturi, it ain't really about darker skinned black women in general. It could be that. Even though I think at this point, you know, folks just need to hang it up. I think we've been doing this, what, since the early 2000s at this point. It's about to be almost 20 years now. I think that folks need to hang up the animosity and the grudge, right? And good that Naturi is able to, like, she came out of a bad situation, but she was able to still be successful, because there's some people who do come out of bad situations who don't end up being able to say, like, oh, they were able to rebound and get a second chance within the industry. Although Naturi did go through like a tough period, because one, um, she didn't really get a lot of money when she left 3LW. Also, she spoke that she ended up getting blackballed in the music industry because she left 3LW. So she wasn't really popping in the industry at the time that she left. So I think she ended up just going to college, you know, just doing a regular young adult thing in terms of being a college student and whatnot. But she ended up being able to come back in the industry via acting, right? So again, like Naturi, like her journey and her story, it isn't a crystal staircase, and it isn't, you know, just some easy walk in the park, but she was able to rebound. So good for her. And as well, good for Adrian. You know, when Naturi left, Adrian became the target for Kiely. You know, and that's, you know, a lesson for Adrian too, because I feel like Adrian is one of those types that will just, you know, go along to get along, who will kiss up to like the popular bully, you know, so they'll, you know, find a way to protect themselves. And I think she still kind of low key has that mentality. But, you know, once Naturi left, she ended up becoming a target. And now, like, on the real, every so often, she'll throw shade at Kiely. She won't mention her name, but she'd be like, you know, back in when I was in the girl group, you know, 3LW, one member, you know, always used to have negative things to say and said that they didn't have time to take a vacation. And, you know, take little shots like that. So obviously, they ain't cool no more. But, you know, that's a lesson for Adrian to learn as well. And, you know, Adrian also needs to learn a lesson about giving sincere apologies, you know, particularly to Naturi, because, you know, apologies that are saying, like, you know, if I did anything, if I did anything to hurt you, I is sorry, Naturi. I'm so sorry. You know, and that's not a good way to be presenting your apologies. It's either you did or you didn't. I would just respect her if she said, you know, I apologize for the part that I played in it. You know, I'm sorry. You know, we've all, like, when we were younger, we didn't know what we were doing, you know, but we've grown. And I know that what I did, the part that I played in it, was wrong. Because she did play a part in it, because she was helping push lies in the media too, saying that, oh, you know, it was Kiely's little sister who threw the two-piece, versus no, it was Kiely who threw the two-piece, right? So yeah, she played a part in it too, and I know she probably was doing it, you know, because she didn't know what to do. She wanted to keep a job and whatnot, and she was young, and we all make mistakes, right? But I think I've just said all I have to say. A bit of a rant here. um, so my apologies about that, but I just felt the need to come through and just, you know, give my random thoughts and random 2 cents about this situation here. So tell me what you think. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.